This is a program that discusses issues of family concern, a program that encourages family, a program that builds and strengthens family, a platform that encourages family to apply biblical principles in addressing family topics or family matters. Today's topic, the issue of children, adoption and abortion. Today we will only scratch at the introduction of children, adoption and abortion in families, because it is a topic that is very broad, and we'll just go at the beginning of it to just see how it will work. Because we have to really work on it, so we'll just scratch on the surface of it. For now, we just want to create this awareness that this topic is a very serious issue in families. And we know that with family, there are different situations, and at the result, it creates problems. And so Pastor Stephen, my husband, will be able to give us some idea about some of the problems that family face during this situation of adoption, abortion.
I want to welcome all of you to Family Talk program. Thank you for sticking with us. This is a problem, as my wife said, we're going to be scratching the surface, but today's focus or goal is to create the awareness that there is a problem that is in the family. So when we look at developed countries like the United States of America, the incoming of children in the family is on a decline. One statistic says the traditional American household has faded over the last 4 decades, 40 years, as the number of married couples with children has a steep decline. Since 1970, the portion of U.S. households that include families with 2 married parents and the children fell by half, all right, from 40% to 20%. So what that means is that in the developed world, the United States, children being inclusive in the family seem to be a decline. So if you look at the pyramid, you find that, many older people are to the top, okay, if you invert the pyramid. And then and to the bottom you have fewer children. Whereas compared to the developed or developing countries, you have a lot of children. All right. And there are so many reasons in the developed world, people, what we're talking about, in the developed world, people, tend to go for smaller families, so their focus is not really on family. Whereas in the developing countries, you have a lot of children, all right? A lot of children in the developing world. But the problem is, in as much as you have many children, many families have many children, there are some couples who still struggle with having children. So barrenness, or childlessness is a big problem. And this can affect the family to a certain extent. And so what we want to do today is how do we navigate, or manage the problem of barrenness or infertility in the family. In the developed world, it's not much of a problem, because in fact people even setting the goal to have smaller family and not to have many children. Whereas in the developed country, people have a lot of children. But still, there are families who are really struggling. So how do you deal with that? Okay, you have a family and the children not come. How do you deal with that? So on this program, that's what we want to be looking at. How you deal with the problem of barrenness or childlessness or infertility in the developed world. We're talking about developed world, about third world nations, and then how it is handled in the developed world. So we'll be looking at that on this program. So very briefly, so that's what I want to say. In as much as in the developed world, children not seem to be much of a problem, because people tend to go for smaller families. But in the developed world, in the third world countries, there are a lot of children, but yet there are families who are really struggling to have children. So how do we deal with that? Because that can impact the family in one way or the other.
Right. So in the developing nations, we know that children in families are more than expected. People have more than 5, 6 children. And people in developing countries cherish those things. For no children are blessing. Yet there are some families who are struggling to even have kids. Unlike the developed world, where having children is not a big deal, people prefer to be married, take care of themselves, than even taking care of children. For them, it's a problem. Some of them will even tell you, I'd rather have pets than taking care of children because it is so expensive, it is very difficult. I mean, I can tell my pet what to do, that will be okay. Because everybody not going to go through that in a developed world. It's no big deal at all. So they would prefer to even take care of them or their pets than children, because they don't have to go through any expensive daycare, even though we know they do it for animals also, but they would prefer that. They don't have to come, I mean, you know what I mean, taking care of children, you got to nurture that one, they don't have time for that. So very few will take that to be, problem. So again, in a developing country, we know that not having children is a big deal. And especially the woman that is married to that man and she's not giving birth, she's going to be called by all kinds of names. If she's not careful, family going to dislike her just because she's not giving birth. They're not going to go through the headache of finding out what's going on. The next thing, she's either a witch or something else. Her whole life going to be a mess. And she's going to take all the blame. She's going to get all the insults. And in some of the cases, they may have no problem. And whereas, if you go further, the man could be the problem. But again, in developing country, it is the women that go through so much difficulty. The men have nothing to fear. He just act like a king, and the poor lady going to take all the blame. And so, you'll see this woman will be ridiculed throughout her lifetime. That is if she don't give birth. And in some cases, they will even go in developing country, will go and find another wife or wives. Whether the person is healthy or not, the idea, as long as a man cannot get a child from you, they're going to gather other women that will be all in that hair lady face. And it's so embarrassing. But these are the truth of some of the developing countries. Because the lady going to feel so terrible. She's going to get all the insults. She might not even be able to get well or get over these things, all these accusations. So maybe if she's not even careful, she might be put out of the family. And so we see the difference. They will even take it further by taking her to maybe a fetish priest, and the fetish priest might want to give her some concussion for treatment. And if she's not even careful, he might lay out with her. And they will do all these abuses in the name of just a person giving birth, failing to realize that children are given by God. And marriage should always come first. Marriage comes before children. Not that children are not important, but you cannot put children above marriage when they are not coming. Because it starts from two persons, so the two persons have to be well accepted, and love has to be the key. And so people take advantage of all these things because of ignorance. They'll just blame one person, and that one person will go through all kinds of trauma, and their whole life is just like, but what have I done? Again, in the developed world, people find their own, different solutions. One of them is just adoption. They go and plan out, go meet the different organizations that are involved with child adoption. And some of them, they are not even trying to solve any problem. They just don't even want to go through the headache of even carrying pregnancy. So they rather somebody even having that child so they can take the child and then nurture that child. They don't even want to go through any pain. They don't want to go through any headache of having, illness while the child is developing in your womb. They don't want to go through that. They would rather go through their agency, and they have all that money or whatever background they have. If they are rich, they will be able to take care of 2, 3. They don't have no problem with that, as long as they're not going to go through what it costs to go through pregnancy. So if I say some of the solutions of the developed country, it's just that some will just want to have kids and being around, but they're not going to go through all the headache. But again, these are some of the solutions that can ease some of the tension with those who are very anxious. And we know there are other ways besides child adoption where the egg is being placed in another place where the sperm will be taken in, so they can use the egg to go and fertilize it. There are many other advanced ways. So we know there are a lot of adoption agencies where people go and do testing for fertility to find out what's going on before they can even get married. And in other developing countries, they don't even do that. But in the developed world, some people do that. Most people do that to find out whether they are going to have child. And again, there's not no big deal. So there might be an agreement, look, we're not going to have any child. If the other partner wants that, they can work that out by either adopting, like I said earlier. So we see some of the negative implications in developing countries where people make this to look so terrible. And you make somebody who come into marriage start worrying over having child before the marriage can even begin. And that should not be the case. The way God sees this is how we should see it. God put two people together. And so love should be the key. And He being our creator, He should be the one that we should look up to. So as couple, whether young or whatever experience any couple may be having, the first thing is for the two couples to get together, look up to God to give them their children. But people are not supposed to come and be ridiculing people because the woman is not giving birth and she be having all kinds of names. And then torturing that person. At the end, what's the essence of the marriage when you're just coming and just pouring child situation on this couple? Maybe who are just getting married within the space of 1 year, and you see people start whispering and saying all kinds of things. And marriage entails so many things. It's not only just having children. But if children are not coming, there should be a way out between the two people that are involved. When you see families coming in, people accusing, it's just so tormenting. But again, Christopher Stephen, my husband, will be able to talk about some of the things that people do to even, eradicate, children coming around. Some people don't even want it. And they will do all kinds of things to make sure that it don't come in a way that doesn't seem right in the eyes of God. So one of those is abortion. So can you? Yeah,
thank you very much for that. But before we go to the topic of abortion, my wife was saying, in the developing nations, there's so much pressure on the woman, and we know one person can, bring forth a child into this world. It takes two parents, the male and the female. But in developing countries, the problem always seems to be the woman, or the woman is always accused to be the one at fault when the child is not coming. So what we want to do, this is a serious problem that many people may not be want to talk about. People marry after first year, second year. Of course, sometimes the couple they defer having children because maybe they want to take care of other things, maybe a work job, they're not ready to have children. That is different, But someone that really want to have children and they can't have children. So some of you may be going through this, if you live in the part of the world where it's a taboo. Once you're a woman, you're supposed to be carrying a child. And because, as my wife said, in the developed world, where they have the facility, you can go for fertility testing to see if you able to carry a pregnancy or able to pregnate, And it's always advisable to do it before marriage, so that one person is not accused. The state of your health or being able to give child, the potential of being able to give birth to a child. That information should be known by both couples. If the information is not known by both couples, but again, in other parts of the world, they don't have the facilities, to be able to go for the kind of testing or counseling, and so, but they just know that when you're a woman, you're supposed to be carrying a child, and there's so much pressure, there's so much pressure that is placed on the woman. Society look at you with a different eye, the family members, and the woman is ridiculed. But we keep contrasting and comparing, developing. But I just want to look briefly, if you allow me, for the abortion, in the Bible, in Palestine, in the Middle Eastern culture, we look at the Bible, we see the same thing. Abraham and Sarah, Abraham and Sarah, they couldn't have a child. And sometimes it's God, because the Bible said God closed her womb. You see, God closed her womb. So it wasn't that she wasn't able to give birth, but God closed it. But God did it on purpose, And after 25 years, and during that time when God closed Sarah's womb, Abraham and Sarah decided to help God out, and went with the maid. You see, and my wife said same thing happened, in developing countries. The married woman is not able to care for a child, and then the man is given, another woman is given to the man. Say, well, you woman, you can have. But in the Bible, in the case of Sarah, they voluntarily did that. Then we see another scenario again with Hannah. Hannah couldn't give child. Hannah finally gave birth to Samuel. So fertility problem or barrenness, are always been a problem. And this is a serious problem in the marriage, in the family. And many people don't like to talk about it. And we all know sometimes even people who are servants of God, they are serving God faithfully. Nobody see the child coming, and it's so embarrassing. You can't say, well, I don't want to have it, But so it brings a lot of pressure, brings a lot of burden on the couple, So we were bringing this out, to know that sometimes it's God who closed the womb. Like in the case of Sarah and Abraham, it was God who closed the womb, and so she couldn't have child, And then Hannah, again, the Bible says it was God who, again, closed the womb. So what I want to submit to you here is that if you have infertility problem, barren problem, sometimes it's just better to go ahead and pray about it. See, when you're in a marriage, and you're in society where everybody's just looking at you and say, when's the baby going to come? That's a pressure. When is the baby going to come? When our child coming? When our daughter coming? It put a lot of pressure. But I want you to relax, go to God and pray about it, and that's going to help you. My wife talked about abortion, which is another area. But abortion is different in the sense that it doesn't help in bringing forth children in the marriage. In fact, it's the opposite. It's geared or focused towards preventing children from coming into the marriage. So that is another problem. And in this digital times, or the times that we're in, people talking about the rights and all that, So we just want to squash this matter, of abortion, because while we're talking about some parts of the world where people are trying to have children, and they're kind of difficult, and they're going through a lot of ridicule and and dishonor, there are others who don't want to have children at all. They don't want to have children at all. And so the issue of what we call family planning comes in, and then abortion. All right, in preventing the child from coming. So how do we deal with that? Nowadays we hear about pro-life and pro-choice. Pro-life, that those people who say no matter what, the child needs to come. The opposite way, I have my choice, this is my body. So we're not yet to go into that debate, but we just want to bring this in as we're talking about children, how important children are. And my wife, we look at from a standpoint of a mother, okay, her own idea and thoughts about abortion. What advice to give to somebody who would be thinking about taking abortion and say, well, this is my right, this is my body, I can do whatever I want to do.
All right. Again, thank you very much. We all know that there are many ways people try to prevent children from coming into the world. And the devil always play a role. Some people, they get pregnant, they're very healthy, But then they start looking at certain conditions. If I give birth to this child, it's going to disturb my career, it's going to disturb my job, my school, and how people are going to think about me. But we know that God gave everything for a purpose. You may not be married, you may still be young, but you got involved with this, and then the door open for a child to come. We should just look at all the consideration our parents or family members are going through certain situation, and when they explain the story under which they gave birth to a child, and that child survived, it means that God's hands was already in it, it was already playing. If our parents, some of our parents have not given birth to us, some of them have difficult situations in even present time, but they still went through and had some of us, and today we are here. So we should always think about how we even came into this world. If we start looking at situations, and then we conceive, other people can't even have that conception. If we have it, we should always look at the Christian point of view. At this time, it means God's hands is in it. You may not be married, you may not have anything according to yourself. Oh, I don't have nothing, how can I take care of this child? But how were you even taken care of? Everyone has a story. If your own parents sit you down to explain their story about you, you'll be like, what? Nah, but thank God. We're not saying go around to go look for children, but if the child comes, just know that God will take care of that child. Abortion is not a solution. And I think one of the best ways is to just abstain. But if you are involved in these activities, you're not married, and then it happens, the solution is not abortion. You are hurting yourself, you are hurting our life. That God has something for, and you don't know. So abortion is not a solution, and many times people try to do this, and you see people's lives have been taken away, and the unborn child never sees the future, because you may have been the chosen one that God wanted that child to pass through. So I know there are so many situations, like he said earlier, I'm not going through any kind of debate. I'm just talking from a Christian point of view, that God has purpose for every life. He created every life in every kind of dangerous circumstance. He will make that life to come. And once that life show up through a human, it means that life or that child in that womb has a purpose. So we should always look at that. God is able to sustain. Even during the war, people were having babies, and some of these children are grown up now. And when their parents start explaining, we'll just be like, what? You went through all of that? So as a Christian, if these things happen to you while you're in school, what you're just dating, you know, had that intention and it happened, just turn it over to God. And that would be the best way, because he will take care of every need. That's why
Amen. So, Amen. Just to add to what my wife said, you know, that abortion is actually terminating your life. Yeah. And we know the debate that's going on. People say that they're right. But you need to understand, the Bible said, behold, children are a heritage of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is his reward. So children come from God. A woman may conceive, but that life, no human being can make life. No human being can be life. One of the lies out there is to say, what? That my body. But you need to understand, we all are a vehicle. As a woman, a young woman, you are a vehicle. You are a conduit through which God brings a life. All right? Whatever you do to get that life, it was God ultimately who gave the life. And so you carry a life, because the Bible says children are the heritage of the Lord, the fruit of the womb. In Psalm 139, the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. How are we fearfully and wonderfully made? In the womb. We don't see how it takes place. So if you listen to us today, and you just happen to be viewing this, and you're being concerned, maybe terminating a life that you were carrying because of the social pressure, the economic pressure, and all the different stigma that is going through, you don't know you carry a solution carrier. You don't know you carry somebody who will be able to change the world and affect this world positively. So right now you may be depressed, you may be angry, but you need to think again, because that life is from Almighty God. Because the Bible said the fruit of the womb, the fruit of your womb is from the Lord. David said, in sin was I conceived. In other words, no matter how that life come there, it come from God. It may be in sin or whatever. But you know that life is precious and is from God. As you heard earlier, there are many people who are lined up in the developed world for adoption. Somebody be waiting for years and years and years. They can't qualify to get a child. And God gave you one, please keep it. God will take care of you. Just go to your local offices and ask. There are a lot of stories where people, wrap the baby up and just drop the baby off to the hospital and left. And somebody came and were very happy. So let us preserve life, because there are many families who are in great disarray because they need children to raise, to love, to cherish. If God blesses you with one, please do not terminate it. Please keep that life. Thank you.
Again, before we can close, we just want to encourage one another that life is very, very important. While others are looking, others want to terminate because of inconvenience, just know that the Lord can take care of every need. The Lord knows how much you need. So don't let fear or pressure or some call it embarrassment. Don't try to come to embarrassment. But you look for it and you got it, and it's for a purpose. And you have to be the medium that God has to use. So continue to trust God for every situation. I also want to encourage people out there who may be looking up to God for a child. Keep trusting Him. He's able. He's faithful.
Yes.
So at this time, we just want to thank you again for your time. We'll now close up.
Yes. We pray for those who maybe need a child, and those who think about taking abortion, and God will protect them.
Let us pray. And so, Father, at this time, we want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. We just want to commit your people out there. There are some who maybe say, I'm sick, I can't do this, I can't carry this pregnancy. But Father, praise God, pray for each life, for anyone to preserve that child in the womb while the mom is even sick. And some of them are fearful because of economic situation, because of pressure from the fiancé, pressure from the boyfriend. I don't want that. I don't want no child in this union, in this friendship. But we say also, Father, preserve that life. Every life has a purpose. We just want to bless you for those who even want to have children in the counting years. But you are able. You did it to Hannah, you did it to Sarah. You are able. Just want to bless you. You are the same God who is still working this miracle. You are able. I want to thank you for this opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you for tuning in today. God bless all of you. Bye.